Good afternoon, role players. Hopefully everybody can hear me. We are having a little bit of problems with the eye tracking today. I couldn't quite get it to be better in time. We'll see if we can get it warmed up better. But if it's too distracting, let me know and we'll fix it. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming today. All right, so good evening. Well, this would be a good afternoon, and I already said it. So good afternoon, role players. Welcome to Quest to Assess. If you're new, my name's Vic, and I love sharing discussions about new perspectives and concepts with role-playing games as my medium. If you've only joined me during my Tuesday streams, prepare yourself for a wilder ride and deeper dive into complex topics. We're going to go ahead and go with our content warning. There's going to be quite a bit of adult content with Disco Elysium. There will be mild sex and nudity, severe violence and gore, severe profanity, severe alcohol and drug themes, and there will be, oops, I lost my place. Sorry. And severe frightening and intense scenes. For a censored experience, please wait 24 hours after the live is ended. You can still participate in the discussion by commenting under the video. However, I'll be actively throwing out questions and discussing topics based on what our live audience talks about. So if you feel it's safe enough to join me live, I'd be super psyched to have you here. We're just about to get started, so if you can humor me for a moment by understanding that anything depicted in the game or discussed by potential guests does not reflect any positions held by myself, this channel, or the Creator Accountability Network. Fact check every claim stated today, including any that I make. You can help me make this new show a success. These topics are certainly unfriendly to the algorithm. Like right now, we're at a good solid 0 viewers. So, I'm kind of doing this for the recorded. And if you're watching this after the fact, I really appreciate you being here. You can ensure that we have an active conversation every live stream by doing free things like liking or disliking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing this with people who you think would like to join the conversation. And at 500 subs, we'll get to share our custom emoji assets. You can remember to stick around for the intermission for our questions of the week. And you can chat with me in voice, which I'm about to do once I can try it. Maybe I can fix this setup here so that the glare, I think the glare might be causing some problems. So let's see if we can fix that a little bit more. Then we'll just reset there. Cool. All right. So for chatting with me in voice, I take guests for the rest of the stream via my community server, Ready to Roleplay. All people 18 and up are welcome to join me by clicking the link that I am pinning to the live chat right now. So that will be this thing that I am pinning. I'll have to point it out later when people join. So let's see, here we go. All right. That is our Discord voice chat stage. Remember, 18 and up only, please. This is a mature stream. If you are under 18, the stream is probably not for you. All right. Beyond that, we have a poll for today, which is, what do you want to investigate first? So we have a cursed store that we're going to look into, and hopefully once we kind of finish that little thread, we'll have enough time to start doing some other investigations. So this is a detective game, which means we're doing a lot of investigating, which means we're going to do this kind of poll. Let's see here. So, what do you want to investigate next? And we still haven't investigated the Union strikers or drivers. And we have things to investigate for revisional politics. We also have the lead about our amnesia. So we discovered that we no longer have a place to live. And we also discovered that our name is Harry. I had to think for a minute. And also that the reason why we have and this is just kind of an extrapolation, but it seems like the reason why we have no place to live is because it's where our ex lived. And I don't know if we don't know exactly how that situation ended. We have heard things referred to as ex, but the way that he responds to it is like deadly levels of sorrow. So I'm not entirely sure if it's like a separated situation or if it's like he's, he's mourning her. It's kind of uncertain. But those are some very interesting amnesia details we have. So we can look into our amnesia by talking to the doctor at the radio in our partner's car. And then we have keep exploring. So exploring will be things like we still have to find our gun, which might be at a pawn shop. We got to look around for a pawn shop to see where the heck that might be. What else do we have to explore? After we're finished with this cursed door, we still have to explore. We got to find our ID. We have no idea where our police ID is. And apparently that's a really big deal because somebody can pretend to be essentially their version of a police officer if they have that ID. So that is a very not good thing to have lost. Same thing with the gun. That is also a very not good thing to have lost. That's also part of the keep exploring. There's like a whole bunch of quests that we have, that we need to catch up on that involve exploring, and that can also just be me, meandering and trying to figure out like what's going on with the area, like what's the lowdown, because we have amnesia and we don't know what's going on. I see a left-handed Jedi has joined us. Good afternoon. Lovely to see you. Thanks for joining. And all right. So let's get on down to Boogie Town. Where we last left off, we decided to first explore the streets of the city and entered a cursed bookstore. We told the bookstore owner to stop leaving your kid outside in the cold as her advertisement, and then we poked around when we saw a curtain with a weird charm on it, and then convinced the bookstore owner that we're supranaturally, not supernaturally, supranaturally, that they seem to be very specific about that in this game, in tune with spirits enough to investigate the curse. What's behind the heavily warded and locked door? Let's find out. Keep an eye out for concepts that are new to you or that you want to explore. Tell me about them in chat and we'll break it down. Jedi says, let's get dangerous. We have 2 votes. We have a vote for amnesia to investigate and keep exploring to investigate. So it is a dead tie. Interesting. All right. So what I'm gonna do is actually I'm gonna have to pull up chat in just a few minutes here. Maybe we'll see how it goes. But because my phone still needs to recharge, even though I put it on the charger already. But it should be good enough to turn on in just a few minutes. So other than that, we'll continue with where we left off. Equipped plastic bag. Oh, okay. Very cool. All right, what's going on here? This is where we left off. Looks like Guillaume Le Millon, that hair poster. Oh, interesting. Okay. So we left off with this. You know, let's not be rude in case there's like, I don't know, some super mysterious person in the back. Let's knock. Let's see what happens. All right, well, thought I'd try to be nice just in case. So, sorry, I'm looking down because I'm trying to get my phone started here. Let's go ahead and unlock the door with the key that the bookstore owner gave us. Should we be scaredy cats or should we just go for it? Jedi did say let's get dangerous, so that might be encouragement to just barge right on in. Yes, Jedi, very similar. Yeah, I think so. I've seen a mixture of that with like Buddhism, where they'll use they'll put like Buddhist mantras on and prayers on those paper slips like that, and then they use them as seals. Seen that as well. Very interesting. I gotta be honest. I know more about Shintoism than I do about Buddhism because I'm sorry to say I don't have that much interest in Buddhism, especially where Confucianism took over. It gives me like, you know, traditionalist vibes that we have too much of here in the United States. All right, well, we're the ones with the hat. And I think the hat means we're the adventurers. So let's open the door and enter. As funny as it would be to take on the role of Shaggy and Scooby. Oh, what's this? Does that mean Kim has something to say? The lieutenant stares at the dusty training equipment. It's an adventure. It's the netherworld beyond the veil. Looks like a gym to me. I think this may be the Artemitep's boxing club for young athletes. I don't know what Artemitep's is. I mean, it is an adventure. Let's try number 4. Let's see what happens. Good point. I don't think I have that equipped. Look, as a skeptic, I am tempted to take number 2, which is let's just keep going. I'm sure it's just a regular abandoned house, nothing mysterious here. However, we are an imaginative person, and we have our companion necktie. And our companion necktie is very creative. So what if there's a reason why no one's been here for ages? So I'm going to take a quick look using my computer, which I have to tab out to do because my phone is still taking a minute. Jedi says, I'm a fan of Taoism myself. I have seen a little bit of that, like the Tao. Well, unfortunately, we can't outwardly question the tie, so we'll have to put ourselves in the, not the shoes, maybe the fabric of the tie, and think about it, how we would respond as the tie. And if we were the tie, we would ask, what if there's a reason why no one's been here for ages? So I think I imagine that would be one of the responses out of the two that we have available. Okay, now I can actually pull up YouTube and use my phone to check chat instead of having to tab out. Just a second. What would Ty do? Agreed. What would Ty do? I think Ty would be very curious if there's a reason. So what if there's a reason why no one's been here for ages? Because it's closed. Oh, I do want to make sure that everybody can hear everything. Since no one is here, I didn't get to check. I'm not hearing Kim, at least not on the playback. Let's see. Oh, I know what I can do. Here, 1 second. I can bring up game capture here. Pull that all the way up. And then hopefully we'll try again and see if we can hear anything.
No need to look for supernatural explanations where a banal one will do. Now let's move on, shall we?
Okay, let's see. How did that come across? Kind of quiet. So what I can do, I can bring it up just a little bit more. And you guys let me know what you feel about the balance. Jedi says, it would be cool if the tie changed its knot as a message. That would be cool. I like that idea. Okay, let's make sure that we have our flashlight equipped. Sand is dripping from a punch bag. Shot put ball. It just says Citius Fortis. The rest is worn off. I wonder if that means I can do a worn out wall bars. They look unsafe. Is this gonna be like you can show off?
A barbell lies on the floor. The color has worn off its weight plates. It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with. Lift them.
Yeah, we'll kill ourselves trying to do that. We don't have...
There are no collars on the barbell. This is a safety hazard.
Oh, does that mean it could slide right off?
Why does it feel so familiar?
Why does it feel so familiar? Is this familiar because I'm a weightlifter or because I've... No, I don't think I'm a weightlifter. I think it's because I've investigated stuff like that.
No, it's not that. It's the stale smell of rubber, the squeaky sound of sneakers, your bruised knee against the mat, and a whistle. Then the feeling is gone.
Huh. So there's some sort of memory that we have associated with the gym.
It's just a memory.
I mean, yes, I could gather that much. Thank you, logic.
A memory from another life. When you were young and fit.
Endurance is like, do it. Lift the barbell. We're going to say, look, Tim, it's a trap. There are no collars on the barbell.
You're right. The weight may fall off. Better not touch it then.
Actually, I don't really care about safety hazards. What kind of a bastard would just remove the collars? It should be a felony.
It would be a violation of EPIS safety regulations if the gym was still operating, but it isn't. No one's supposed to come here anymore.
Yeah, I'm not going to lift the barbell. I'm sorry, we're not fit. Okay. Citius Fortius. Are you saying faster, stronger? Let's see if I can get rid of... Darn it, I can't get rid of... It's not giving me a thing that lets me, move that little emoticon button. Anyway. Olympic motto. Oh, very interesting. Thank you, Jedi. The more you know. All right. Let's keep going. What's going on with this? Why did we pick this up? A ball used for playing shot put, a favorite pastime of elderly gentlemen. You feel like you should hold on to this and make good use of it. To sell such beautiful old school sports equipment would be a sin. I think I saw some elderly men doing something in a corner. The hallway is blocked by old window panes and debris. Looks like the remains of the 24-hour window repair shop. Oh, I get it. I get it. The window repair shop needs a window repair. I really can't see where I'm going. Well, they're going for spooky vibes. Why do animals stare at you in the dark, stuffed and mounted? A large demijohn full of strange liquid? Airship rotors covered in spiderwebs. They remind you of blades. Huh. What's going on here? Oh, we've got a lot going on. Oh my. A naked mannequin torso, a strange yellow color. Okay, suddenly we're getting a thought. But where are the clothes it used to display? I think I heard like... Oh, there are like mannequins all over here. Huh. Okay, what's going on here? Money! What's going on here? Blue velvet, soft to the touch. Moth bitten. Anything here? More money. What's going on? This, it kind of looks like a TV, but no?
This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and a wired framework. The keyboard has a rectangular on-off button. A piece of paper still hangs from the printer.
Interesting. So we're going for like old computer. Like the type of computer that required walls of like tape processors.
A radio computer. Just
Says
sitting here
Lieutenant.
without anyone inside.
Just sitting here without anyone in sight. He sounds surprised and a bit cautious. He's watching us circle around the machine.
This is the Ream Civic radio computer, model RC5120, equipped with a Feld mainframe and a Ream-compatible printer.
Do you think I should turn it on?
We have one of these down at the station, but I never really learned how to use it.
Well, we have interfacing gloves, which means we are so ready to interface with things. So I think I'm ready to turn on the machine. Well, actually, hold up. Before I do that, and get like ahead of myself, let's look at this. Maybe this has like instructions on it. This looks like a chalkboard.
Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes, like some ancient cave mural.
Do you guys see that? Do you see that picture? Developers know who they're talking to. They knew when they designed a game that has TTRPG aspects that they were going to put an old elf dude with a sword on a chalkboard. This is called the Project Dread board. So I think, I mean, it could just be a doodle, but I don't know. This kind of gives me some like TTRPG game master vibes. So let's see.
Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board.
All right, let's inspect the drawings.
These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welkins casting wax-based magic.
That's great.
Translucent welkins with organs shining under their skin, and even ether welkins hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space.
Sidereal. Not ethereal, even though they're called ether welkins. Sidereal.
Who are all those creatures? Fantasies of a tortured, feverish mind?
You mean like ours?
One of the welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however.
We have to examine the welkin. This is vitally important. In fact, our entire investigation could, like, center around this towering welkin. We have to know.
It's Vara Hamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-welkin races will be purged.
Oh my gosh! Why? I had such high hopes. I guess I shouldn't have, because apparently high hopes means high welkin, and high welkin means supremacy. I'm sad. I was so excited. It is dangerous out there. Take this. Gives sword, Jedi says. That's if only it was a nice wizard welkin instead of a high welkin supremacist.
The Haldor, the Twarg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled only with welkin, green welkin, dread welkin, and the high welkin to rule them all.
Oh, we going for some Sauron sort of thing.
An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little welkin creatures.
I don't think we need to ask why would anyone spend so much time on this. Who are these creatures? Who drew them? Are they real? I have so many questions. Whisper, one of them is a Welkin supremacist. Well, this has been educational. Let's move on from the Welkins. I think I would be the one to whisper, one of them is a Welkin supremacist.
Political commentary. That one has a great beard, too.
The lieutenant nods at the Welkin's facial hair. Who are these creatures? Who drew them? Are they real? I have so many
This looks
questions.
like concept art for a project. It's not really real.
Why would anyone spend so much time on this? It's an option, so we'll ask it, but we know the answer.
Some people really like building a world, I think, even if it's just for a game.
Oh, that's a little meta. Well, this has been educational. Let's move on from the Welkins.
Just look at those details. So much effort.
I think Kim might be admiring this.
And for what? All gone.
Since that was from empathy, does that mean we are noting that Kim is saying something like that? That Kim is like saying so much effort and for what? All gone? All right, inspect the photos.
The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grown in under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried-up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. You see primitive oil rigs built into glaciers, boreal dvorg, yurts under the snow, great mammoth-like beasts of burden.
Why is this encyclopedic knowledge? I don't understand.
Albeit dark and cold, this vision also feels cozy in its own way, like eggnog or morphine, a much-needed respite from our own world.
Oh, so electrochemistry like wants to use tabletop games as an escape from the world. I mean, I don't blame you. Like, there's a reason why I'm in a way, I'm in such a way that I don't really have any addictions aside from maybe sugar, and you could probably say roleplay is my other addiction. I need the chance to like flex my creative skills into something that's really enjoyable, that's with other people, and like gives me something to do and work on, and also allows me to like think up of worlds, dive into other people's worlds. Like it's if you're here, you probably know the idea, like the feeling of wanting to escape into the fantasy world of whatever game, even if it's a dark game like this one, where it's not a place where you would want to be, but it is a place that makes you think. And you get to reflect on different ideas in a world that you're immersed in.
A pinned postcard reads, "The heat death scenario. A desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe."
Oh, so the concept is that it's a... I can't remember what it was called. I don't know if it was like an exoplanet or, but essentially a wandering planet. All right, inspect the schedule.
This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimi, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money.
Grand scheme of production and money. So, what? Like, they're planning to make this an actual game that they wanted to like sell?
Minimi stands for a mini meeting. It's part of a bigger framework for managing work called RUN. Station 41 tried to implement it a few years ago. but failed.
Interesting. Keep reading. What happened?
As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region.
Looks like they didn't make it.
The lieutenant looks at the frigid ice field of nothingness.
A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, "See the prod schedule filament for details."
Inspect the
The
notes.
handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: Call in, Tune Out, Wirral Untethered, and Heat Death of the Universe.
Boy. So maybe this was like some sort of production. They're saying it's a
This
station.
old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. The whole thing resembles Cadran mosaic tiles. Very pedantic.
I don't know what that is. Hold on, how do I know what Cadran mosaic tiles are supposed to look like?
History classes, students with their textbooks open, studying the roots of our civilization. Those aquarelle blue tiles looked beautiful in the sun.
What am I looking at?
Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6, UKV 123.7, UKV 123.9. Some written notes, too. Sparse and cryptic.
Radio frequencies for what?
Unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced.
That must be a metaphor, because I'm not seeing like a literal cardiovascular system. These all look like, this looks like graphing to me. Of course, narrow your eyes. The anatomy of the curse. I mean, that's what our necktie would say. Jedi called it a rogue planet. Yes. All right. Yeah. Let's follow the necktie and our hearts and say, of course, narrow your eyes. The anatomy of the curse.
Perhaps. The web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart, titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station it wants.
The Game Master Frequency. Do you think this is a radio station for hosting like long distance tabletop role-playing games? At least, I mean, it would be kind of hard, but I think you could. It'd be like a you know, harder to hear version of when you're in a, you know, in an online call with your buddies every week.
They must have had massive air width. These things don't come cheap.
Let's double check. Wait, who's the game master?
Someone very important.
Well, duh.
The leader of a massive on-air game built by these people.
Okay, yeah, so, oh, but it's not, it's like bigger than just like, you know, one group and then like a game master per group. Like, this is one person running an entire network in like one campaign. So it's like a giant, sprawling radio tabletop game.
A conductor for the hundreds of story threads that pass through the game master's frequency.
If it's a game, then who's playing?
Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like. All of this is gone, left unrealized.
Unrealized. So, are they saying that it never took off? Like no one ever got to play? Or are they just saying that it was in the middle of something? Unrealized makes me think that it's saying that it never got off the ground, that the radio game never took place.
There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off.
So it must have taken a lot of money to run.
My God. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became.
Right? Me too. I have zero money and I want to do all the things. All right, the lieutenant leans closer, his finger tracking the maddening rhizome. The cost of air width alone must have been huge.
Exactly. This schedule, I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding.
He nods at the calendar on the chalkboard, wiping his marker-stained fingers clean against his jacket. What else? Squint at the lines.
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages.
All right. Take a look at what that says. Scribbled across the notebook, developers of the most advanced RPG in the universe. Well, before we go through that door, we've got that room to check out, and we've got this. Is this Emma's atelier?
The dusty radio computer sleeps on its wired frame, forgotten and unused. Its keyboard has a rectangular
Let's go ahead and
on-off
turn it
button.
on.
A piece of paper
Oh, let me
still
check.
hangs from the
Check real
printer.
quick. Oh. All right, turn on the machine.
The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the keyboard. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open.
Look inside the compartment.
It's empty like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left dangling, disconnected.
This is where the memory should go.
The lieutenant notes, observing the machine. Let's press play.
Nothing happens.
Yeah, probably needs a memory.
Something's missing. There's no tape in the player.
Press print.
Nothing happens.
Okay, let's press play again.
Nothing happens. Something's missing. There's no tape in the player.
Okay. So we need a tape. Oh, Ken's got something to say.
Okay. What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace?
Someone tried to exercise the curse using technology. Well, looks like an undercover counterintelligence program. I think it's a failed business. And it looks like they were trying to do a massive tabletop role-playing game on the radio.
Yes, that is the question.
The lieutenant takes a step back, steepling his hands.
Like he's ready to lay out a fine theory, crafted together like a puzzle box.
Why would that take interfacing to figure that out? I would have thought that'd be like posture or something.
It looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games. Only these people were trying to automate it, make it work on radio computers.
Oh, so not like have a bunch of people have like radio computers and then call in and then like work on it, but to have each radio computer do like essentially do the processing of the game so that you could have essentially a solo tabletop role playing game.
Utter madness, he thinks, as a compliment.
I mean, mad respect. How are they planning to do that?
Through call-in stations. None of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can participate in the game, as long as they have a two-way radio.
Okay, no. So apparently, it's through the call-in stations. None of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can play participating. Okay, so no, it was my first guess. I thought he was saying like it was supposed to be essentially, like an intranet sort of thing.
Then there's the game master frequency that listens in on the smaller call-in stations. I think that was supposed to coordinate the stories, functioning as a master of ceremonies of sorts.
Coordinating so many games would take a whole switchboard of people, possibly divided into sub-frequencies.
Has anyone ever done this before?
Not to my knowledge. They make automated games in Graz, Messina, Königstein. You know, places with industry.
See, when he says automated game, it makes me think that when he says automated, it makes me think that it's not just people talking over the radio. Automated implies that there's being some sort of processing going on.
But I don't think anyone has attempted to create an interinsular game before. We just don't have the technology.
And this was a role-playing game?
Indeed. Those Welkins are a dead giveaway. Role-playing people love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the WeWorld board game, with hit death thrown in.
Super cool. Someone should give them millions of real immediately. This game is too good to be left unfinished.
100%. I mean, I'll ask it, but we know. What do you think happened to the company?
No idea. They stopped filling out the schedule on the chalkboard.
I think they didn't have the funds, and they needed more to try to get enough. What did they call it? Air width? Wow.
Indeed. It's ambitious and untethered from reality, but...
The lieutenant tilts his head, thinking. I'm not going to say, I mean, they were insane if they thought they could do this. It was just a play to cheat money out of their investors' pockets. The curse got them. I see no other explanation. The world is cold and lonely. This would keep it company. Let's finish it. Oh my gosh. The other one is, do we have any money? Let's give them more money so they can finish it and make it even bigger. Look, I think they can't figure out how to handle funds. But us, on the other hand, considering we have all of $7.42, I think we've got it going on, and we could totally figure it out. So, as the readied role player that I am, Jedi says that would make for an interesting story. Ham radio era RPG. Yeah. We gotta go for it. We are ready to roleplay. So we gotta. The world is cold and lonely. This would keep it company. Let's finish it.
It's too late for that, I'm afraid.
A half smile breaks out on his face. And after he says that, he's looking around the derelict room. The pipes howl, and a rat crosses the floor.
Okay, let's keep moving.
Aww. Gosh. Ruining my dreams here, Kim Kitsuragi. Alright, here is the other room. Production schedule. Filament memory. There it is. We can plug it in. Steel rotor blades bearing a slipstream logo. Oh, that was the out of business. That was like struck on that directory. Skis with slipstream printed on the laminated top layer. Okay, let's put this in. I hope it doesn't break it when we use it, because that looks like that was a lot. The cube-like crisscross of filaments feels oddly fragile in your hand. Its intricate structure covered in dust. Silver tape on the side reads production schedule. Note, this filament contains information that can be read using a radio computer. Let's go for it. If I can, like, take it out and then sell it, I'd be down.
Tiles on the cube are still small. Like a smooth draw, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking.
Press play.
A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. Have you stirred the ghost of the doomed commercial area from its rest? Could this be its dismembered heart beginning to flutter? The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall, until a voice speaks out, crackling and old, cutting into the air.
Good afternoon. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule?
Oh. Why did you call me Fortress Accident?
Fortress Accident is the company on whose name the terminal you are currently using has been registered to.
Do you have any other information about this company?
One moment.
You hear her flip through a catalog before she reads out with studious care.
Fortress Accident SCA produces revolutionary interactive call-in radio games. That's what the catalog says.
That's not bad.
Wow, so conceptual. She hums. And what's that, this interactive call-in radio game?
Any other questions?
The static drowns her response. You hear her ask when the connection finally improves. All right. What's the production schedule?
The filament you have inserted into the reader.
You mean that glowing thing I put inside?
Yes. Is that the production schedule?
Yes?
Good. Please repeat the password.
Password? Of course it would have a password. That's why there's a human administrator involved. You should ask her for a hint.
This is the police. Please open this thing. Password? I'm really bad at passwords. Can you give me a hint?
No.
A hint system is not part of the protocol for repeater stations.
Is it my birthday?
Still no.
This is the police. Please open this thing.
I am contractually obliged to protect the privacy of the filament holder Fortress Accident. Without filing a warrant with Lintel, I cannot give you access to this filament.
I think Lintel might be a little on the nose.
I'm afraid we are not doing that, unless we want to wait for a month.
Now, can you please repeat the password?
The voice in the machine asks again. She sounds cold in the damp air. I don't know the password.
Received. I will register this login attempt.
Don't worry. Passwords have a way of turning up sooner or later.
Yeah, I'm sure it's in the other room or something.
Fortress Accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
What are you? A machine? Or are you alive? I think we already answered that, but why not?
Yes, I am alive. I am 74 years old and my name is Yvonne.
The voice actor is just so good for this.
She repeats passwords. Programming people are all paranoid.
That was the lieutenant whispering in our ear. Yvonne, my partner tells me that you're here because radio computer guys are all paranoid.
They are merely cautious. It's my job to protect the filaments as a password repeater at the East Insulindian Station.
Okay, but where are you? How did you know where I am?
I work as a repeater at the East Insulindian repeater station. It's my job to know where you are, Fortress Accident. As for me, well, I
Some
am
static.
sitting in my cubicle, surrounded by a wall of radios.
Doesn't it get lonely, sitting there all by herself?
Yeah, doesn't it get lonely doing this job?
Lonely? Why would it get lonely? I get to talk to people all day.
Aww. But all you do is just repeat passwords. You don't get to have conversations.
That's why she does this.
That's why she does this. Oh, that breaks my heart. Oh.
Now, please tell me if there's anything else I can do, Fortress Accident.
No, I don't want to, but there's nothing else I can do because I don't know the password. All right, I'm so sorry. That's all for now.
Thank you, and goodbye.
The old lady's voice disappears along with the static.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in a soft glow. Fluorescent play and print keys shine on the keyboard.
Look inside the
Behind the hatch
compartment.
sits a cube-like crisscross of filaments, smoldering in the dark like fireflies. Silver tape,
Can I
the
remove it?
filament slides out of its glowing nest.
All right, just in case we can sell it. But this money and morale. Oh, apparently if you get over 4, it like automatically sells and you get money for it. Okay, this is a big bear. Oh, is it a refrigerator?
You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost, and the bear's eyes are glowing red.
That's very elaborate for a refrigerator. What is this thing? It looks like a giant ice
The
bear.
lieutenant doesn't answer. His eyes are glued to the animal. A sharp slice of light shines out from its mysterious belly door.
Well, let's crack open the
A
door.
gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself.
Oh.
This is the inside of a refrigerator.
This is like a really expensive setup for, I mean, look, like this whole thing for just that little space. That's like so much wasted space.
The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun.
Here, because he tells it to us all the time, I just have to. Relax, Tim. It's a fridge.
Of course, just a giant ice bear-shaped fridge.
He relaxes his hand, his face bathed in the harsh light of the open fridge door.
Let's take a look inside.
Well, there's
The
the
shelves
design.
are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge.
What's a giant bear-shaped fridge doing in an abandoned cellar in the first place?
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge.
The lieutenant reaches for one of the wrappers. He studies it in the light. So they tried to sell ice cream from this hyper carnivore.
I know. What an unfortunate marketing choice.
I think he really doesn't like bears. I mean, it is like twice their size, so I can't blame them. And it has red eyes. Who would put glowing red eyes on a refrigerator?
What is even worse, the bear is still costing them money to this day.
The lieutenant points at the red snaky cable running from the fridge.
The fridge buzzes with energy. The electricity bill on this thing must be catastrophic.
Examine one of the ice cream wrappers in
A
there.
friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge.
Take the note from the door.
You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door.
Yeah, because free magnets. Close the door. All right. What did we get? We have an interact item. A handwritten note you found from the giant ice bear fridge. It still bears some marks from the fruit-shaped kitchen magnets that were used to secure it to the refrigerator door.
The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface.
Maybe the password's here?
Does it say anything interesting?
The lieutenant leans closer to read the crumpled note over your shoulder.
This is tangential at best, but the lieutenant's detective instinct is still active.
I mean, how can it not be? Let's read the note.
Someone has scribbled, S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe.
I guess by illiterate ginger kid, they probably mean Kuno. So I had to hide it somewhere safe.
You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care. Sully Soif.
Wonder who wrote that.
Looks like someone from that radio game company upstairs. I'm a little surprised they just left their property lying here.
Maybe they had to leave in a hurry. Or maybe it's because of the entity.
That's implausible.
Do you have any idea where the frozen ice cream maker could be? I'm not going to ask about who's the illiterate ginger kid. I think we know.
I don't know. I assume it's somewhere close to the ice bear fridge.
All right. Probably right here. An ice cream maker, defrosted and unplugged. That yellow looks interesting. Flashlight casts a strange shadow. There is a hidden doorway in here. Ooh, he's struggling. Two rusty rifles are hidden above the piping. They look inoperable. And what about you? Someone has stuck some busted guns beneath the ceiling. Wow, were they like hiding for an apocalypse?
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
Where are we? Look around the secret room.
Seems like an old bunker from the revolutionary period. Look at all those rifles. Must be an old weapons cache.
He points up at the rifles under the ceiling when he says that. Look, there's a hole in the wall. Shine light on the hidden
There
part.
is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Do you want to take a look?
We are adventurers, so okay, I do. Look inside.
Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spider webs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away.
Rifles, Kim.
Are these any good?
Inspect the rifles.
Most of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest. But one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock, in better cosmetic order than the others.
Ooh.
Take it. You're a police officer. Police officers carry guns.
Looks like I don't have a choice. This one looks nice. Take the rifle.
That's a rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way.
Looks like the audio was different. He said that's a rare sight, but the text says an old bell McGrave from the Revolution. The lieutenant notes with approval. His eyes are gleaming. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way. What does this mean, a rifle
It
here?
means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence, I would say. Might come in useful in the future.
Okay.
He likes this find.
Of course. Guns. He's a true American. Antique Bell McGrave. Broken Bell McGrave from Major's Nest. It's 4-shot bolt-action military rifle with a wooden frame. It's broken, so it probably can't be used, but it could be sold, perhaps. All right. that's it for this area. Before we go any farther, I do want to do a quick intermission. We're going to do a brief intermission. We'll make it very quick. So, if you're still with me, I want to appreciate you being here with me. If you're just joining me, we are investigating an abandoned cellar in the back of a bookstore that is apparently cursed, which we're maybe discovering that the curse just might be like radio static and like, you know, a running giant fridge. But if you don't mind, we have our question of the week, which is, what's the supranatural? That's a SUPRA natural instead of super with an ER. Do things like curses and ghosts exist? Do you have any experiences with the paranormal? And by the way, I am planning, speaking of which, on running a D&D one-shot in the Sword Coast with 5e 2014. We've already gathered quite a few people who are interested, and I am about to post a private thread where people can get together for scheduling. So make sure that if you are interested, you let me know by joining the Ready to Roleplay server. The link is in the description. Go to the Looking for Group channel and respond to my post to let me know that you're interested. And I will add you to the private thread by June 3rd. So if I don't see any more replies by June 3rd, I will assume that no one else is interested, and we'll go with people that we already have who are interested. So make sure that you reply as soon as possible. You made this live stream possible. So I want to thank you for helping me reach my channel goal. If you want more, especially more perks, you can either become a patron or send a one-time donation using my Venmo or CashApp. The last two ensuring every cent goes to funding the channel. All of that is in the description under Find Me Here. And if it's not in your budget, just freely engaging and sharing is a huge help. There's no discussion without you. And don't forget that there are ethical resources and information waiting for you in the description under Ethical Advocacy. All right. So, oh my goodness, we have a three-way tie. We have one vote for My Amnesia, one vote for Keep Exploring, and one vote for the Union Strikers and Drivers. Well, we'll only be able to get to one of those. So, we'll see how much time this place takes up. We do have we'll be stopping at 4 p.m., which is in just about 48 minutes. And there's also the end of the day, which end of the day I think is, they said it was like 1900 or something like that, or maybe 2000. I can't remember exactly what they said, but whatever end of the day, it'll be when Kim says I'm ready to go to bed. So we'll have to keep that in mind, especially because we have hundreds of dollars to pay to try and be able to stay at that hotel place. So I have no idea how we're going to fix that. Jedi says, ooh, scary. The house I grew up in was creepy as heck. Yeah, I totally understand that. There have been some creepy places. I lived in a really nasty, like, damaged first floor apartment. that, you know, teens and young adults who were going to college would like go in and out of, and like whoever the last renter was, they just destroyed the place. It was disgusting. And on top of that, by the way, I don't know what they were doing. They were doing something with grease. They were cooking so much grease. There were grease stains literally like on top of the walls, like near the ceiling, in the living room, like across the entire apartment. I don't know how that happened. That I still to this day cannot like physically. I can't comprehend how that would have happened. Anyway, got real creepy at night, especially with all the people like walking in the middle of the night, stomping around, things like that. Having my cat made me feel slightly better, but it's not like it actively changed anything, because if anything happened, he would have just hid. But he was nice and sweet, and he would always cuddle me even though I was scared, so I appreciate him. He was such a sweet boy. Jedi says the house he grew up in was built in 1904 during the World's Fair and had a stained glass window. Wow, that is ancient. I wonder like how much of it had to be like replaced in order to be functional. Sorry, I had to take a drink. I know that probably looked weird. Oh, gross. I have something stuck in the back of my throat. Let's see if I can mute myself when I try to cough. Okay, sorry about that. Oh, whoops. Does time pass when I'm just standing? I hope not. Let's see. Can you guys hear me again? I think my voice might be slightly too loud. Here, let's turn that down. The interesting part was it had gas and electric fixtures. Oh, that was like the height of the dangerous Victorian Edwardian era. Because especially in the Victorian era, they might have started like getting wise to it in the Edwardian era, which is the 1900s to like mid 1915, like right before the war started. Oh, this is it.
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an electric freezer that appears to be frozen shut.
Yeah, there's no way. Pry bar is not strong enough. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Nosafed. Okay, that'll be our healing item. And we got some money. Okay, what's going on here?
Two cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby.
Let's unplug the black cable so the lid isn't frozen shut.
Something close to you dies with a soft electric purr.
Why did you do that?
It's black. It's not like it's the red one. Because it's black, the color of a measurable cosmos. I think we'll go with number 2. I mean, I know what I'm doing, but it won't let me say that. I don't know why. I unplugged it. I do things without any reason. Anyway, because it's black, the color of a measurable cosmos.
The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything. The electric distribution board now has one cable missing.
Let's unplug the giant red cable, so we'll unplug the bear.
An electric sizzle. The room is slightly quieter now.
Alright. Maybe that was like what people were scared of the entire time. Alright, we'll open this. That is the stairs that I don't want to take. Ooh, insane mesh tank top +1 to drama. We gotta see that. Does it replace what I'm wearing? Oh, does it go underneath? Oh my gosh, I love it. Clinically insane. Where did you even get that one? No, really, who put it in that drawer? No further comments. Wear at your own risk. +1 to conceptualization, -1 to suggestion. I don't need drama right now. I do need conceptualization. We have a pretty strong suggestion, so our savoir-faire is just awful, though. But the rest are fine. Have a lot of bonuses. All right, let's do the conceptualization. We'll keep that going. And what's going on here? Intercom wires running into the breaker box. All right, let's go and see if that thing has melted and I can open it.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it slowly melting.
Turn the ice cream
Turning
crank.
the crank feels oddly satisfying, like stirring your childhood dreams. In the distance, you hear water dripping. It's all gone now. You'll never become a poet or an entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur. Oh, I wonder if the bear, like, so they would make ice cream and then
The bear's eyes are dead.
oh, whoops, let me read that because
The
that was a
bear's
new description.
eyes are dead and empty. Ice inside
Okay, the bear's eyes are dead and empty. Okay. Okay, let's read this. The wall collapsed. It's inaccessible now. And what's
A
this?
thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. Looks like this furnace has a face, and it's a face of agony.
I mean, I don't see a face, but all right. Kim, what is this thing? Is it a furnace?
Looks like it. Looks like an old central furnace used to heat the building. It's connected to the chimney.
He opens the door and gingerly peeks inside.
No one has used it in ages. No signs of any recent fire. Only dead rats.
Smear your hands with coal. Look inside the
It's
furnace.
dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other. Near the smoke chamber, upstairs.
Okay, so that must be the stairs we just passed.
What are you doing?
Lieutenant asks when he sees you climb halfway inside the furnace. I'm hallucinating, or maybe it's the entity. I'm hallucinating, or maybe it's the entity. The other one is I hear the murder of the hanged man talking, or I'm not sure, Kim, but I think I can hear someone talking downstairs. That is far too reasonable. What would Necktie do? I'm hallucinating, or maybe it's the entity.
Wait, really? Take your head out of the chimney, please. It's not safe.
Lieutenant sounds concerned.
It feels safe to know that the lieutenant's got your back, now and always.
Aww.
This sounded real, not imagined.
Those voices I heard, maybe it's the malignant entity? Zod said it lives in the chimney.
You're right. The rooms do look like they're connected. But malignant entities don't exist. At least not the supranatural kind.
We could try to be a physical instrument. Yell hello into the furnace.
Something breaks
Success.
loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then,
Hello?
You hear a woman's voice answer.
you've awakened the entity.
I summon the ghost of this doomed commercial area. Answer me, spirit.
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
Okay.
You hear a low rumble upstairs. The sound of a curtain being pulled aside.
After you, officer.
Okay. Take it with
A
you, bud.
hollow ring echoes through the
Oops.
furnace.
I
Your
damaged
toe
myself.
hurts.
I shouldn't have done that. I was too curious. Okay, how do I heal myself? There we go. I can't believe that took 2 health points. Hitting my toe is 2 health points. All right, I would like to. Can I really not open this?
This orange machine is dead still. It has a...
All right, we'll go upstairs. See if we can't run across something that'll be stronger. Okay. So that was that door. The smoke room. It didn't sound like Pleasance. Pleasance?
You're alive and well. Don't keep me waiting now. What's in there? In that dark sarcophagus?
The dark sarcophagus paused dramatically.
Yes, yes. How was it?
It was a charnel house, a failed business enterprise, leeching life energy from this bookstore. Honestly, a dump. Nothing to see there, just heaps of garbage. Someone should let the sun shine in.
But what else did you find? Did anything survive? No, of course not. Have you located the entity?
You don't have anything of substance to tell her until you found that entity of hers.
Okay, I just don't know how to access it. They said a smoke room.
This bookstore is not strictly about crime. Amidst the various books, you find one written by someone named. The point of the book, and many others on this shelf, is to give people medicinal advice in situations where they don't have access to paid health services.
Oh no. Oh no, this is one of my rant triggers. I sense a rant coming on. Oh no. And I had just asked if people want to see any rants from me, and this is the topic. This is the ranting topic. I will bite my tongue and go through the choices. And if people want to hear a rant, they can ask for one. If you want to hear me rant about people giving medicinal advice in situations where they don't have access to paid health services and how there's a problem with people not having access to paid health services, you can like the stream, and with enough likes, you will unleash the rant. So first, we're going to ask, you're going to take a deep breath, and then we're going to ask, how does that work?
It serves platitudes, while also telling everyone that traditional medicine, the kind people don't have access to, and which costs more than this book, is garbage, and would only give you cancer anyway, without even curing your cold or anything.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I legit. Oh gosh. Oh, this is like, this hits such a nerve. And if you're wondering why, I can tell you, but you have to ask for it. All right. I mean, I imagine, people preying upon others who are desperate for medical care and can't get it. I would be shocked if that wasn't upsetting to most people. However, it's kind of a personal pet peeve And pet peeve is an understatement, I should say. Okay. So, like I said, if you're watching, remember to please like. And if enough likes are on this video, I will rant. I'll rant. I'll explain why I have such an urge to rant. Although long-term listeners probably know why. Or if you're part of the Discord, you probably know why. Which is why you should join the Discord. Then you'll know why, probably. I don't know. You might have to just hunt for it. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, continue.
Wholeness, unity, balance, on the other hand, can basically take care of anything. Though it is important to note.
What's important to note is that the acronym is WUB, and you cannot trust the Wubba-Dub-Dub.
When it's up to your mind to heal yourself, then it's because of your mind that you're ill in the first place.
Oh my God, it's like this was written just to make me boil with rage. Oh my God. I am so pissed. I usually try to say things like, oh my gosh, or, remove, the common religious phrases from my lexicon to, I guess, more accurately represent my own ideas. Barring the phrases that have a really long history and are just like so tied in English. Anyway, that's side tangent. But if I'm so pissed that I'm repeatedly saying, oh my God, you've set me off. This is, and I'm just like, oh, I am chomping at the bit. I am seething. I kind of don't want to click number 1 anymore. I kind of don't want to ask what the book says, but I'll leave it to my viewers. Should I ask what else the book says? Or is this an exercise in enraging futility? I will leave that up to you, faithful chatters. Should I just move on and not try to enrage myself? Or do you really want to see the rage? You want to see someone who does not rage easily go into full rant mode? That's for you to decide. Not if it is going to upset you. Oh, I should clarify that it's like, it's not so much that that my blood pressure is raising. Although I guess, any time where you're personally invested in something, I'm sure, it's going to affect you a little bit. But because this is just something, this is stuff that I have heard so many times. Directed at me personally, directed at others I care about. And in fact is a major part of why I joined the skepticism community, actively, instead of just kind of passively going like, oh yeah, I agree, and then move on to some other sort of thing. Is because I started following, pseudoscience debunking content, and that had a lot to do with the fact that I have a chronic illness. I've had this chronic illness for most of my life, since, I mean, it's affected me my whole life, but because I was born with it, but it became a disabling chronic illness when it was like a little bit after puberty. So, you know, and we were, you know, my family was looking for a diagnosis. I was a really young teen, and doctors were coming up empty with all of their tests, and my family members were desperate, seeking answers that weren't coming up with modern medicine. And unfortunately, when you're that desperate, people who would prey on that desperation come out of the woodwork. And sometimes it can even start with a really well-meaning friend who doesn't know any better, who is like, you know, my daughter was sick too, usually with something totally different. And, you know, we were recommended to this acupuncturist, and after the acupuncture, her life turned around. She could, you know, be 100% independent again. And it sounds too good not to pass up. I mean, when you're that desperate and nothing is working, and, you know, you're squandering all of your resources, and it just feels like you're running in circles and you're not making any progress, anything that promises an answer feels like it's worth a shot. And people who are part of these industries, usually they tout like all natural pseudoscience stuff that's like you can't listen to any of those doctors, you can't listen to any of those scientists because they're paid shills. And the ironic thing is, they're like, but I have the panacea to your illness, and anything will be cured by the thing that I want to sell you. And all you have to do is pay this much. That is like, it's usually like a nickel and dime thing, or like it starts like an entire, you know, pathway of just like blood sucking, you know, financial predatory practice. And unfortunately in the US, it is heavily unregulated. And I am so disappointed that our healthcare system, see, I'm already on the rant. I'm already on the rant. But I'm so disappointed that our healthcare system has failed so many people, and that we already have an entire industry of just made to help people pay to survive, to live, or just to like prevent your like basic health issues. That prevention can be, you know, so much cheaper than actually dealing with the problem, you know, when it pops up. And like there's an entire industry in the US just thrives off of people not being able to afford healthcare and get their own healthcare. And then on top of that industry of an entire like market of insurance companies trying to like suck as much money from someone as they can while they're healthy, And then when they're sick, deny everything so that they can't get what they paid for. They can't get what they need. And then on top of that, you have almost no regulation for the pseudoscientific BS that people are using to prey upon the same desperate people who are already being nickel and dimed by the health insurance industry. It's like, it's maddening. It just feels like everywhere you turn, there's somebody who wants to prey upon your problems. And it's like not even misfortune, because it happens to everyone. It's like everybody gets sick eventually because everybody dies eventually. Eventually, something's going to happen where you need health care, and they have commodified it. Anyway, so this whole rant, just to say that it is a very personal issue to me. And I would say that it is a huge part of how I tend to, of what I tend to focus on when I'm voting, or what I tend to focus on when I want to make changes to the world that I live in. Because I want to make sure that nobody has to go through not only the pain that I've gone through, but the serious suffering that others like me and others who have been in similar situations have had to endure. And it's not so like, you know, like, oh my gosh, this is gonna tear my world apart to continue focusing on it. I think it's a very important topic, and it's exactly like this very thing is like, these sorts of deep topics are exactly what I wanted to get into when we started playing the game. That does mean that, you know, we have to stop and not exactly make progress in the game, but I want to be able to dissect these issues with you guys and be able to hear your feedback. I gotta be honest, there are very few people that I've spoken with who have been like, yeah, no, let's keep healthcare as a commodity. That sounds like a great plan. Like, the only people who are like that are the people who profit off of that. And I sure as hell, you know, don't run in any circles like that and wouldn't want to. But anyway, Jedi says there are healthcare execs who've ended more lives than any serial. Yeah, unalivers. Yep, 100%. And I 100% understand the outrage that people have felt, because it just keeps happening. And so few people are doing anything about it. You know, the hardest part in this last primary was trying to figure out, did I want to go for the candidate that I knew would be, so I live in Texas, and there was a big primary between Jasmine Crockett and I believe James Tallarico. I kind of have, I mostly hear his last name, so I'm not entirely 100% certain on his first name, but I think it's James Tallarico. And I know that Texas being a conservative state, that someone who is more centrist would be more appealing. But I think that playing to the center is the reason why we're here in the first place. Because when you're playing to the center, it is, especially when things are already this polarized, you're essentially making it like there's really no you're going for someone because the US center is already very conservative, like very, very conservative, just globally speaking. But I would say also, like, as far as current issues are concerned, then yeah, the center is super conservative. Like, they want to do almost nothing that would progress things in a way that people who are under the like 1%, like, well, I shouldn't say 1%, but if people who are under the $500,000 a year, income level, like, usually centrists are doing policies that would be more harmful to anyone who has an income less than $500,000 annually. And I consider that very conservative, especially when the goal is always to roll back anything that would be progress for everybody as a nation. And like, they're always looking at some mythical golden age that never actually existed. It's just some fantasy that they've conjured in their head. And usually they're like hyper focused on one thing, one nostalgic thing that they've emphasized in their minds. And that's kind of like the conservative sort of thing. And that's what I see a lot from centrists in the US. And when you have, like, essentially you have super conservative and then you have conservative light, well, the people who are left leaning aren't excited to go vote for that person. And the people who are centrist and right leaning are thinking, obviously the right leaning, they're going to go for what's more right, and centrists, they're going to go like, well, I'm going to go for what's a viable candidate. And I had to think about that too. I had to think about, like, as progressive as I am, do I want to go for the viable candidate? And I realized that sort of mindset was essentially, like, that's, like I said, that's what got us here in the first place. And so what I did is I went through all of their policies line by line. And obviously the most important policy to me is healthcare. And it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that there should be healthcare for all, in my opinion. That we've already seen tremendous success in an improvement of quality of life for people when the government pays for healthcare and uses taxes from the ultra wealthy and smaller percentage taxes on middle class, essentially, to fund single payer healthcare. And especially when in the US, when you've got such, like, the ultra rich that are paying, like, they're getting away with so many tax loopholes that are just ridiculous, that need to be closed up immediately. that they're not paying their fair share, and that if we started taxing them, like, nobody else would need to be taxed. Like, they'd still be super wealthy. They just wouldn't have like super wealthy income beyond like $1 million, which is like, who the hell needs more than $1 million a year? Like, that's ridiculous. Like, a single person, you know, like, in their family, like, that's gonna get you covered, right? So yeah, anyway, this has been a huge rant, and I do feel bad that, you know, it makes it so that I can't progress the game while I'm playing, because this game has a lot of talking and there's a lot of decision making and a lot of thinking. So, you know, it's something we have to stop and slow down to talk about. But I think this is a very important topic, and we haven't had a really deep like breakdown into the concepts that have come across so far. We've done a little bit talking about different economies, like you know, socialism versus communism versus free market capitalism, you know, things like that, and looking at the different definitions. But we didn't like go into a real deep dive about it, other than, you know, just trying to get a very like surface level thing. And I want to make sure that for especially really important topics like these, that we do deeper dives. And so you've heard my rant. I don't know what you guys think about rants. You know, maybe it's not your thing. You can let me know. Tell me in the comments, give me your critiques, all that stuff. One thing I really would like to know is your opinion on this. How does it affect the way you vote? Do you not vote? You know, do you feel like it's a waste of time? And one thing that I've learned 100% for sure is that voting is never a waste of time. You know, as long as it's not like there's one candidate, you know, and there's nothing else to vote for except that candidate. Aside from that, voting is never a waste of time, especially when you can decide what goes on in your local community. Because every primary and every general, which both are extremely important, especially the primary, because you decide all of the grassroots changes that occur before it reaches the national scale. Things don't reach the like massive scale of national politics without starting locally. And things that are holding Texas back, like heavy gerrymandering, which we can get into that. If you don't know what gerrymandering is, let me know. We'll have a little discussion on that. Things like the reduction of polling places in left-leaning districts and moving deadlines, moving polling places last minute, you know, all of these like dirty tactics that are meant to prevent people from having their voice be heard, like that stops the minute that you vote locally. The minute that you make your voice known, you can ensure that tactics like that don't continue. Because as long as there is a low turnout, the people who are corrupt and in power are going to continue to think they can get away with these things. And by changing who leads your voting district, by changing your city council and you're voting on referendum and voting on huge policies that can make or break a voting district. Literally, it can come down to a few votes, and you being a part of that ensures that those small changes add up. So that's my thing. And honestly, I feel like the worst way to let a democracy die is letting it die with a whimper. I mean, like roaring applause, not great either. That is pretty sad. Like how Ken Paxton was voted during the runoff against John Cornyn. I gotta be honest, I'm pretty shocked about that. He's probably the most corrupt politician within the last like 50 to 80 years. That's just openly corrupt and is just openly funneling money into his private accounts and throwing entire like the entire district attorney's office into disarray, throwing anything he's overseen, like he's just absolutely ruined and corrupted. And it's so obviously known that I just don't know. I don't know how he got the votes for that. I know gerrymandering would ensure that it's a close race, but because it's a Republican runoff, like I can't even picture how that happened. I truly am clueless. I want to figure out why Ken Paxton was able to get the vote for that one, because as conservative and like as conservative and as much of a brown noser as John Cornyn is, especially Ted Cruz. Holy crap, Ted Cruz is a brown noser. I can't believe he still is able to get into office. Ken Paxton, at least, is like 1,000 times worse. And I don't understand a conservative being like, yeah, blatant corruption that I know will go against me. I'm gonna go for that. Sounds like a good idea. I gotta be honest. That's a total blindside to me. I don't know how you handle that. So anyway, Jedi says voting should be mandatory. Election days should be paid time off. At the very least, it should be paid time off. Huge changes that I want to see to promote democracy. Apologies. This happens when I talk a lot. Voting days need to be paid time off. Which unfortunately it is a conservative tactic to try to make sure that as few people can vote as possible, because when fewer people vote, conservatives can rely on their wealthy private donors and lobbyists to get in, and they're more likely to win. Whereas because progressive policies are by and large, more positive for the general public, because they're meant for the general public instead of the top 1%, people tend to vote that way. So we see with conservative politicians, you'll definitely see that continuous drive to confuse voters, prevent voters, to come up with just awful tactics that are so anti-democratic, and it's really unfortunate. And so that's why you'll have voting days that are right smack dab during a work week. They'll make it so that you have no means to be either compensated or excused if you go vote on your on voting day. They make it so that there's fewer opportunities for essentially working class Americans who have to work every day, who can't afford to take a day off. They make it so that there's no chance that their voice will be heard. And typically, if you're in that situation where you can't afford to take a day off, you're probably so swamped with everyday survival that the days to apply for mail-in voting is impossible. And of course, here in Texas, they made it so that mail-in voting is not available to anyone who isn't elderly, disabled. That's about it. They are also making it so people are having to like the last time I went, I requested curbside voting because I have problems standing for long periods of time, standing and walking for long periods of time, and I also will faint if the room is hot. Oop, we're nearing our end. I'll finish up this thought and then we'll start closing. And when I went to do that and requested curbside voting, there was apparently a mandatory signature that you had to give if you requested curbside voting, that essentially was like under penalty of perjury, you verify that you require curbside voting and cannot go vote inside for whatever medical reason. And because of that, my mother, who has a similar, she's the one I inherited the fainting disorder from. Hers is not as severe as mine, but if the room is hot, she will also faint. And she had just had her knee replaced, so there's no way that she would be able to walk in, stand in line, and then walk back out without essentially having to collapse halfway through. And yet she felt so intimidated that she didn't want to. And for primaries, even though the voting booth screen, it's electronic, so you should be allowed to, without anyone's assistance, essentially be told, like, this is how you choose which ballot screen you want to go to for your primary, and you select whether you want to, vote as Democrat or Republican. Apparently, for Texas, at least in our voting districts, and I've been in a couple, so this seems to be pretty widespread, if not statewide. You have to audibly declare which primary you are going to vote in. So the person who is giving you either the ballot screen, if you're doing curbside voting, or helping like take you to a polling booth, you have to tell them whether or not you are Republican or Democrat. And specifically in this voting location, and as is the case for most conservative voting locations, they make it so that the Republicans can stand and lobby for their conservative, whatever, person they are out there to lobby for, right there at the entrance. But the people who are the Democrats, and I saw this was so sad, they literally had to stand off property a half mile away. And it was like just two people and one tent. And it like was clearly an intimidation tactic. It was to make people not want to declare that they're voting for a Democrat. And because of that, my mother didn't vote. She did not vote in the primary because she felt too intimidated to say that she was voting Democrat. Now, probably like, honestly, I didn't have too much problems with it. But that's, I think, because I can get away with it. I'm a young woman. I'm disabled. I'm white, and I'm just like not much of a threat to anyone. And so people are like, what harm is she gonna do, right? Like, it's like her and what army, that sort of thing. So it's really unfortunate how I remember going through so much history about all of the regulations that were put in place to prevent I believe they're called poll bosses, from intimidating people into either to prevent them from voting for who they want, or to intimidate them into voting for what the poll boss wants, but not what the voter wants. And then also like paying people to go vote for who the poll boss wants, paying people to intimidate others. Like, the fact that is like it was such a huge part of my history education, and it looks like we're still there. Like, the only difference is you can't outright pay someone to vote the way you want them to vote. And well, I say that, but we recently had a very wealthy person who has since had a falling out for the candidate they wanted people to vote for, offer to pay people who would vote. So I think it was in Philadelphia. So I say that, but apparently that's just kind of out of the water too. So if you're wealthy enough, it kind of doesn't matter. It's really unfortunate. It really, I can't believe that we've let democracy fall this far. I'm really sad about it. And the one thing I wish is that other people would be as concerned about it, and instead of, like, obviously it is exhausting feeling like this far behind, feeling like there's so little you can do when people are taking your voice away from you. But stopping the fight, stopping the democracy because we're tired, that's just not an option for me. Not when so many lives are on the line. So many lives have been lost already. We can't let that, we can't let all of that suffering just fall by the wayside because we're tired. And boy, I know I'm tired. And it sure feels hard. But I know that there's no way in hell that I'm going to stop trying to make this world a tiny bit better for anyone who has felt the pain that I felt. Because I know I wouldn't want them to stop fighting for me. So that's kind of my my soapbox message. I know it's pretty serious, but for anybody who's listening, since this channel is, especially on Tuesdays, it's meant to be a nice place to relax where you don't have to think about and listen to the worries of the world. I want Quest to Assess to be the place where we can sit down, we can face, like, this is our reality. And we can look at different parts of gains of people's art and use it as our springboard into topics that are too important not to talk about and not to try to make a difference in. So I hope that, as tiring as the political landscape is, I hope that you don't feel so discouraged that you stop fighting. Because I'm not kidding when I say that literally every single vote counts, especially in those local elections. You can be the tipping point to making life a little bit better, one vote at a time, in your area. Even if that's an area that is known to vote the same way as you. There are usually there's usually a referendum that people vote on that is given during those local elections that are vital for you to vote on, that may be so nuanced that just because people will vote for the same party as you, it doesn't necessarily mean that they'll vote the way you would vote for a referendum that's on the ballot. So please, when I say don't just, if you like, say, participate in the general, like I vote in every general, it's just as important, if not more so, to vote during the primary, because during primaries, one, you can vote for the exact candidate that you want to vote for. You don't have to worry about trying to balance likability or which one's going to be more center leaning, which seems, in my opinion, that seems to be a very that seems to be a losing tactic. It just makes everything more mediocre when you try to go for who's the most likable. So making sure that you vote for the person that you want to see in the election. That way you're not stuck with a candidate that you hate. You can make sure that as long as you and everybody who who is like, I usually don't care about the primaries, make them care. That's where the difference lies. Primaries make all the difference. They are the decider on who you get to vote for in those generals that are the really big elections that everyone votes for. And they're the ones that are going to have the referendum that can totally like change how a district pays attention to its voters. So I hope that that will give you the fighting power that you need, so that when we come up for this general, make sure that you vote the way that brings more positivity to the world, more peace, more kindness, and less death, first and foremost. And even if that's a person who doesn't tick all your boxes, or maybe doesn't even tick most of them, versus the person who doesn't cover any of them, like, it's, to me, when it's, you know, medium to okay versus the literal, like, will cause more death, like, it's a no-brainer to me. Like, you've got to go out there and make your voice known, especially because we see what happens when they get a landslide, or at least enough that they could kind of fudge the numbers after the fact and pretend like, since they won, it was a landslide. They throw it around. They say, I can do anything I want because I am the will of the voters. Everything I do is because the voters wanted me to do it, which we obviously all know is just freaking wrong. But in any case, I want to thank everybody who has been with me so far. I know that soapbox was a little long, but those don't tend to be too common. And what do you think so far? Do you have any critiques? What should I change or add? Should I get rid of the rants? Should I make them smaller? Should I make them longer? Oh my god, I can't imagine who would say that. And also, we're going to make sure that we can figure out this entity issue, and then we'll see if we can try to continue with the rest of the game. Don't forget this week's questions for you to answer in the comments. What's the supranatural? Do things like curses and ghosts exist? Do you have any experiences with the paranormal? Let me know down in the comments, and thank you for making this far. If you enjoyed this, consider, leaving a tip with the like button. And if you didn't like it, dislike and comment why. Subbing will notify you that at the exact time I go live and get us closer to those custom emojis, which the next time I go live will be this Tuesday. What's today? Saturday? Yes. This Tuesday. Excuse me, at 7:30. Sorry, my brain is dying. It'll be this Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. And we will be covering how AI is affecting the tabletop role-playing space, while also playing as much of Papers, Please as we can get through. Obviously, for like any actual discussion, I'll have to do it in between the, runs where you're like going through everybody's papers. But if you're really interested to see more about that, and if you're really interested in tabletop role-playing, then you might want to take a look at my upcoming D&D one-shot in the Ready to Roleplay server. And you can reply to my post in the Looking for Group channel. We have until June 3rd. That is the deadline for anybody who wants to request to join. We are getting quite a few people interested, so As it is, it might be choosy just based off of who can make it based on their schedule. So, if you want to make sure that you can have your shot, go ahead and sign up in the looking for group channel of Ready to Roleplay. I want to give my thanks to the Creator Accountability Network for helping me make my content more ethical. See their link in the description for more resources and information. Let's see, it is past 4, which means that Captive Desk is probably live. That would be Dave. Yes, Dave of Captive Desk. So let me go ahead and send you Dave's way. So this is Dave from Captive Desk. He is currently live. He just started. He always picks start at 4. So sorry. It's I'm running out of breath, so I yawn. And now I can't breathe through my nose. All right. All that said, for everyone who made it this far, I want to thank you for joining this journey into the exciting and very ranty unknown. I'm looking forward to learning more with and from you. I'll be live again this Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Central for Gaming Gab if you can't get enough of me. But when you're ready for another pensive plunge to ponder the puzzles of life, the universe, and everything, you can see me back here every Saturday at 2 p.m. Central to embark upon our quest to assess. Have a lovely day, everybody.